The medical examiner says he died from
Hey everyone, it's Matthew, and we are back. We're now going to start case number 54. Paulo, Roberto, Catherine, and Adi, thanks, and Adi, thanks for helping me out.
No one else was hurt in that shooting. And today, city crews cleared another section of garbage left behind by illegal campers in the Kaka'ako Makai area. Officials say all of the homeless left the area before
Blood Diamond. Uh-oh, I think that's their informant.
To find syringes in trash piles. Next week, crews will target the densely populated.
We have to move quickly, Matthew. A certain Merv Whalen apparently has precious information about the upcoming heist. We need to intercept him and get him talking. But watch out, Matthew. Whalen is a gun trader, and he's also a known con man. When he sees you coming, he'll most probably try to run, so you need to act fast. He's checked into a seedy motel in town. Amy will join you there. Now go and catch Whalen before he can make a run for it.
Anthony shared with us what the world's most advanced jet fighter can do. The Raptor has stealth capabilities, is highly maneuverable, and it can strike targets with great accuracy. But there's even more to that jet that makes it so valuable in the Middle East region.
You can also soak up a lot of information and then give that information back out to other U.S. and coalition aircraft that are also operating in the theater. So it helps those aircraft with their situational awareness so that they can
Hold on.
together.
Sorry guys, trouble here. Oh no, just as I thought.
And so I'm going to sit down with AECOM and our advisors in the coming weeks.
Victim's body.
Talk about what I've learned and past.
Leather bag.
Step up and even do better. So this center, you know, for the next 50
Stars. Bathtub. Door hanger.
Among the ideas mentioned, wrapping the Blaisdell Arena in glass, reconfiguring the exhibition hall to include
I don't know what's wrong with this mouse.
recording studios for local dancers and musicians to use, and providing more access for McKinley school students as part of a plan to integrate the campus into the makeover. Other curb appeal ideas.
Oh no, Matthew, you found Merv Whalen, but he's dead. He's been skewered by knives. We got here too late, Matthew. Now that Merv Whalen's dead, we've lost our chance to use him as an informant on the heist. But you're right, there's still hope that Roxy can get him talking. I'll send the body for autopsy right away. You found a briefcase which has our victim's name on it. Good eye, Matthew. Ready to rummage through it? And you say this door hanger was on the victim's motel door? This could be a huge leap, but you'll have to retrieve the faded parts first.
And on Wall Street today, the Dow Jones Industrial finishing strong, up 200 points. NASDAQ up more than 80. And here's a quick look at our local stocks. We'll be right back.
It's Friday night. It's football night. High school football is where it's at, and PRTV4 has your highlights. Join us every Friday night at 10 for Top Blitz.
Okay, I'll autopsy. And I'll get some stars. I'll be right back. Okay, folks, I just got some more stars. I'll examine the briefcase right now. Gold Saucer Inn. Merv, meet me here. Nice catch, Matthew. This matchbox you found in the victim's briefcase has a message written on it. The message reads, Merv, meet me here. It seems a certain Lewis wanted to meet the victim here at the Gold Saucer Motel. What's that, Matthew? You think this message was written by Louis DeRico, a con man you met during a previous murder investigation? Well, by the sound of it, I wouldn't be surprised that Lewis was involved in this investigation as well. Let's go ask him why he wanted to meet with the victim.
Nobody did anything about it?
Hell no. Took his word over mine.
But we believe you. You done anything since then?
She people's kicking them off.
Just a moment, folks. Okay. Let's ask Louis DeRico what he's got to say. Mr. DeRico, Commissioner Matthew found this matchbox you gave to Merv Whalen. You asked him to come to the motel where we found him, dead. Merv's dead? That's unfortunate. Reliable suppliers are so hard to find, Commissioner Matthew. Suppliers? What kind of supplies did you need from the victim, Mr. DeRico? All kinds. Merv could get you anything. Fur coats for my lady friends, caviar, tickets for the best shows in town. He was handy that way. Are you sure you didn't need him to supply you for an upcoming heist instead by any chance? Oh, Commissioner Matthew, my days of crime are long gone. You know I've changed. Everything I do these days is legal and non-violent. Call it a midlife crisis if you want. But Merv was all about violence, money, and guns. Last time I saw him, he was getting ready for the big gun convention. That's where I'd go looking for his killer. I don't know about you, Matthew, but I don't believe a word of what this Jericho guy says. I think he was giving us the runaround with that gun convention talk. I can't even believe that I have actual gun conventions here. I guess anything's possible in Paradise City. Oh, you think the convention is a solid lead? Murph probably came to town for it. Well then, we should go check it out right now.
I'm already working on an exclamation order.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm going to do the door hanger.
She's lost some muscle tone. Until that time, it remained the medical examiner's worst nightmare. When the undertaker flushed out her blood,
Got dealt a better hand.
and dissolved any protein-based poison in her organs.
Way to go, Matthew. You revealed the message on that motel door hanger you found at the crime scene. What does it say? The message reads, I got dealt a better hand, Merv. Could the killer have left this as a calling card? I'm with you, Matthew. We had better send this message to Russell so he can tell us what it's all about.
Mention this. A tiny pinprick hole in the medical records.
3 hours?
Maybe they gave her an IV.
She was in to have her knee dragged. The hole's in the wrong place.
You settled with the deceased's daughter.
Realize you made a mistake?
No, it was cheaper than going to court.
Well, then what happened to Dolly?
Well, grieving people sometimes have trouble accepting the death of loved ones. Pain
Okay.
makes them look for someone to blame.
Oh, looks like broken
Speaking of which,
pieces.
Employer's records have the last
Broken
settlements
pieces.
of some
Metal crate.
Any other information?
No smoking sign. Fuel can. New.
We're gonna need
Enter
to
it.
check with anybody who might have seen him with Dolly that night.
I'll let him work the counter. What do you wish for? How'd you do?
No one remembers any fireworks between, but I did find out a little bit about Dolly.
Great lady, lousy patient.
She was in pain. She was in pain.
Needy and demanding. He'll
17th.
It means he had opportunity with Bess, Dolly, Mr. Jackson, who doesn't know.
that we know of. The psychic in the
I'm still going with the Dalmatian. I'm still debating on whether I'm going to get, whether or not I'll get the mountain goat, like how Ace did. So this is the gun convention the victim supposedly attended. All this weaponry is intimidating, and it's crazy that anybody can buy guns just like groceries. I see you're already onto something, Matthew. You think something could be hidden inside this crate of weapons? And what do you intend to do with these scraps? Recycle them? I'm joking. I know you never pick up anything without good reason. I'm ready to be impressed by your restoring skills once again, Matthew.
And that's when I saw him.
What was he doing?
He was leaving the room, but I just went in there and the pulse was
Examine the crate of weapons.
ready.
Okay.
Over to the pool. Here, wait.
There we are. I wonder who that lady is. You always have the best hunches, Matthew. You found a picture of the victim hidden among those weapons. Waylon is next to a woman. She's holding a bunch of cash in her hand, while Merv looks annoyed. We need to find that woman. You're right, Matthew. We should run her face through the database to identify her.
Chicken foot, Monty, duct tape, fluff bottom.
But I'm gonna get one more star. I'll be right back. Okay, I got some more stars. I'll examine the unknown woman now. Okay. Oh no. A and okay, there we go. Mary Lou Whalen. Nicely done, Matthew. You identified the woman standing next to the victim in that picture you found at the gun convention. Her name is Mary Lou Whalen. According to the file, Mary Lou is the victim's sister. I would have never guessed. They look so different. Anyway, you're right. We need to go talk to this Mary Lou. Lead the way, Matthew.
What does she do? She screams. She tried to get you in trouble.
Inform of her brother's death.
And my cigarette accidentally burns your chest.
Miss Whalen, I'm sorry to bring bad news about your brother, but Commissioner Matthew found him murdered earlier today. Merv's dead, but who's going to pay my cable TV bills now? Commissioner Matthew, I have 3 children by 4 different fathers, none of whom pay any child support. My brother was the only decent guy in my life. Your brother supported you financially, Miss Whalen? That's very generous of him. Do you know how he made his money? Oh, I didn't ask too many questions, Commissioner Matthew. Merv had a bit of a temper. I didn't want to push my luck. Who would?
Son of a bitch is still in trouble. Maybe fix the time.
Okay. Examine the broken pieces.
These covers must have stolen nurse's clothes and asked her. Found the block.
I swore she saw me pass his mother.
Looks like some kind of relic. What a peculiar statue you restored, Matthew. It looks like a tiny warrior. And there's a label that reads, For Merv. Who would give such a gift to the victim? It looks so menacing. You couldn't be more right, Matthew. For everything weird, Russell can provide a clear explanation. He's so amazing. I mean, professionally, of course. Sorry, Matthew. Let's just send the creepy statue to Russell. Okay, 9 hours. I'll let these 3 run their courses. I'll get the remaining stars right now, so I'll see you for that. Okay, folks, it is Matthew here, and we are back, and we're now going to get the results of the message from Russell. Do you enjoy card games, Matthew? You shouldn't be surprised that you found drawings of cars on the door hanger. We're in Paradise City, after all. We get that these are playing cards, Russell, but do they have a particular meaning? The meaning's clear. There are 2 cards drawn, an ace and a 10, with the message, I got dealt a better hand, Merv. In other words, the winning hand. You see, in terms of numbers, these 2 cards equal 21. This is the best hand you can get in blackjack. It's unbeatable. Your killer wanted to boast that no matter how Merv played it, he would have lost, and that they got that message across the only way they knew how, with violence and blackjack. Thanks for this, Russell. Now that we know the killer plays blackjack, it's time to show them who owns the game around here, right, Matthew? Oh, yeah. I think this is the 3rd one. For now, I'll just let these remaining two run their courses, the victim's body and the wooden statue. But before we go, I do also want to show up and give you a look at my Lucky Cards inventory. As you can see, I'm already up to 99 Queens of Spades. I do have one in my Messages folder, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to wait until I get a Jack of Spades. Or Jack of Clubs, excuse me. Not Spades. Clubs is what I need. So, for now, this is Matthew, and I'll see you guys when the remaining two have run their courses. Okay, everyone, it is Matthew here, and we are back, and we're now going to get the results of the wooden statue. The victim's the autopsy is almost done, just about 57 minutes to go, but I'm going to let that run its course. Matthew, that statue you brought me is a true ancient masterpiece. It's specific to the Mayacan tribe in Africa. And according to Mayacan tribal tradition, this statue signifies a business agreement. How can a warrior figure brandishing knives represent a business agreement, Russell? You have to know the tribal tradition to understand it. I asked Hannah to track down the only man currently in Paradise City who is from the Mayacan region. He goes by the name of Papa Kwanzaa. Watch out, Matthew. From what I could uncover about him, he seems to be a warlord in his country. Very fascinating, but obviously dangerous. Since the statue was addressed to Merv, they were obviously in business together. But how did our victim get mixed up with an African warlord in the first place? I agree, Matthew. There's no point theorizing just yet. We first need to find this Papa Kwanzaa and question him. About the statue he gave to the victim. Mr. Kwanzaa, it would appear that you're visiting Paradise City on business. Absolutely. Paradise City's annual gun convention is not to be missed. Commissioner Matthew found a statue that you gave to Merv Whalen. It seems you had a business agreement together. Merv lost my statue? That's a very bad omen, Commissioner Matthew. Actually, Mr. Whalen was found murdered this morning, which could be a very bad omen for you if you don't get talking. Murdered? I gave that statue to Merv as a token of my trust. He was my go-between for a deal, but now it looks like the deal's been called off. A deal? Was Mr. Whalen selling firearms to you? What did you offer him in return? A natural resource that is abundant in my country, diamonds. Precious stones for guns, simple, but I need to find a new dealer now. You'd be better off finding a lawyer if you get caught smuggling guns, and if your deal went sour and you killed Merv, nothing will save you from prison. Well, this Papa guy definitely didn't try to hide the fact that he's a warlord in need of guns. And it's obvious Merv didn't care who he sold his guns to, as long as he got money for it. To be honest, I'm not sad he's dead, Matthew. Neither am I. I'll let the autopsy run its course for the rest of the time, and I'll see you for that. Okay, folks, it is Matthew here. We are back, and we're now going to get the results of the victim's body from Roxy. Before getting to the obvious, I'd first like to comment on the mysterious. It seems your victim was tortured a great deal before dying. Merv Whalen was burned numerous times, cut, beaten, you name it, he endured it. That's brutal, alright, but why would you say it's mysterious? Because your victim must have been screaming in agony. Everybody at the motel would have heard it. Oh, right, so that means he wasn't tortured at the motel. Otherwise, someone would have done something. But where was he tortured then? I'm still trying to figure that out. I will get back to you on that, promise. But until then, let's talk about the obvious. Your victim was perforated by half a dozen knives, all thrown from a distance. The first two knives pinned Merv's hands to the wall. The last knife put him out of his misery when it expertly punctured his heart. That's your murder weapon. And let me tell you, for the killer to have thrown those knives so expertly from a distance, they must be very skilled. This was no lucky shot. So the killer is an expert at throwing knives. That should help us cut through this case, Matthew.
This is a waste of resources. Just do it now. No, sir. What?
That'd be pretty gruesome. Matthew, our meeting with Merv Whalen at the motel was supposed to give us some answers about the big heist. But instead we found Merv pinned to a wall. It looks like the killer beat us to it this time. To recap, the victim's sister, Mary Lou Whalen, was only interested in her brother's money. But did she benefit from his murder? Too early to tell. Louis DeRico claims he had a business meeting with the victim, but he wouldn't reveal the details. We suspect it's to do with the heist, but of course Louis denies it. And there's Papa Kwanzaa, a warlord from Africa, who had a diamonds for guns agreement with the victim. I know, just when you think it couldn't get any more sinister. Matthew, you're not going to believe this. I found out where Merv was tortured.
Until about 3 minutes ago.
Okay. We'll get to chapter 2 in a minute. Okay, everybody, it's now time for chapter 2 of Blood Diamond. Case 54 in Pacific Bay. Matthew, listen to this. Merv did turn out to be an informant after all. He revealed everything to me. What? How could Merv have revealed his secrets to you? He's dead. I wouldn't be interested in his secrets if he was alive. No, I'm talking about his murder, Matthew, and what I found on his body after I took a second look. I told you before that Merv had been tortured somewhere else before the killer pinned him to the motel room wall, and now I know where it happened. I examined the victim's lungs and found signs of lead poisoning. It is usually caused by exposure to dust and fumes in very old buildings. but the time of the lead poisoning matched the time of death, so the victim could only have been exposed to lead in the place where he was tortured. I called the City Hall to check if any buildings in Paradise City still have lead as a component, and it turns out there's only one, the basement of the Menagio Casino. So our victim was tortured in the basement of the Menagio. There's not a second to lose, Matthew. Let's go there.
Where's Rennie?
How should I know?
You abducted him.
Only 12 more levels and I'll be at a level up, I'm pretty sure.
He really does love this part.
I thought I'd be leveling up at 225, but I guess not.
Three Stooges figured out how to get some cool mill from the U.S. Navy, but they needed a fall guy to do it. And that was Rennie.
I'm the one who told you. I thought it was Frank.
Yeah, it was a neat trick.
Surveillance camera, and stop time. 5 seconds.
That's $5 when he does the chair toss technique.
Tiny switches to strong side.
Yeah, $20 he's gonna do the picture turn.
You thought suitcase stuffed Curly was gonna flip? So you killed him.
I gotta change dogs now. This place gives me the chills, Matthew. Just think, Merv was sitting right here when the killer tortured him. At least the surveillance camera might contain useful footage. He'll just have to unlock it first. And maybe this device got broken during the killer's torture session. We should try to repair it, you're right.
You should have stuck with embezzling, because you're gonna get life for murder.
Okay. Look, I did follow Lieutenant Grady to the Rosewood, but it was just to talk him out of meeting with you.
Examine the CCTV, or the security camera.
Me. It was self-defense.
Self-defense.
MQ8 and
I don't know. I don't even know where he was.
REB.
You left them.
Just missed out on the night. That's okay.
I left it at the Rosewood.
Alright, Matthew, you unlocked the surveillance camera from the Menagio's basement in no time. Come on, let's send it to Hannah.
Yesterday, all day.
Court?
12 hours.
Court?
Before the end of my day, I'll get it. I don't think I'll speed things up.
Possession Raymond was yesterday, which means he didn't grab it.
Okay, broken device now.
Legal problems. Lieutenant Grady's sealed file just got unsealed. If he wasn't lying in our morgue, he'd be under indictment for mail fraud. Grady was put under investigation 3 weeks ago after the meeting.
There we go.
Yeah, how did you know?
Metro said
Ugh, that old turntable you just restored is covered in blood. No, I don't want to take a closer look. Let's just send it to Jan, please.
That was word sent from Hawaii.
No, it was hand-delivered.
so Rennie. He knew who framed it.
It was payback.
For any news.
6 hours.
He was buying time.
For what?
I'll let these two run their courses, so for now, this is Matthew. I'll see you next time.
That was awesome.
Okay, folks, it is Matthew. We are back. Let's get the results of the turntable.
To feel this special,
The turntable you sent me was covered in the victim's blood, Matthew. It soaked through it, rendering it useless. I doubt anybody would want to use the turntable after that bloodbath anyway. But what was it doing in that basement? Well, as insane as it sounds, the killer clearly enjoyed some music while torturing Merv. I guess they wanted to add some atmosphere. Ugh, how gruesome. What kind of sick being would choose a soundtrack to go with their torture session? I don't know, but whoever they are, they love their country music. The vinyl on the turntable is an old country classic. Our killer listens to country music? Well, they won't be singing once Matthew's done with them.
I was embarrassed. I was uncomfortable. I felt very insecure.
I'll let the CCTV, or the surveillance camera, run its course. See you for that. Okay, folks, it is Matthew here. We are back, and we're now going to get the results of the surveillance camera from Hannah Choi. So, Hannah, are you done watching the footage from the surveillance camera Matthew found in the casino basement? Yep, and although the footage doesn't show your victim being tortured, it does show Merv entering the basement with a woman. A woman? Could she be the one who tortured and killed Merv? That's for Matthew to find out. The video only shows them speaking for a while before they both leave. Later on, the camera stops filming, which must correspond to the time the killer came back with your victim. Anyway, I can at least tell you the woman's name. It's Eugenia Hestentrope, the owner of the Menagio Casino. Eugenia Hestentrope? Matthew knows her well. She's come to ask us for help before. But it looks like the tables are about to turn. If Eugenia met Merv in the exact same basement where he was tortured, we need to find out what they talked about. Let's interrogate her. Personally, I don't think Eugenia is the criminal, but let's see what she has to say. Commissioner Matthew, to what do I owe this pleasure? Have you made any progress in stopping the heist of the century? Sadly not. The informant who was meant to help us crack the heist has been found murdered. Oh, that's unfortunate. Indeed. And what's unfortunate for you is that Commissioner Matthew discovered you talked to Merv Whalen shortly before he was killed. Merv's dead? Well, he was a low-life con man, not the kind I wanted in my establishment. So when he came to my casino wanting to gamble, I tried to convince him to leave. By taking him down to the basement to talk? Obviously, I wouldn't be caught dead being seen talking to Merv. It's bad for business, so I took him to the most isolated place in the building. You seem to have an answer for everything, Eugenia, but be warned, Commissioner Matthew is skilled at finding out the truth. Well, Matthew, I thought the Menagio's basement would crack this investigation open, but I'm left with even more questions. What should our next move be? You're right, Merv could have been murdered because of his shady dealings, so it makes sense to check out the gun convention again. Let's go! Motel note. Sale. Well, there's a trash can. Ugh. Bird, torn pieces. And no smoking. Okay. Good eye, Matthew. I'm confident this torn book will tell us something of use once you're done restoring it. You're right. This document was issued by the Gold Saucer Inn. That's the name of the motel our victim died at. Most of the content is faded. Do you think you could do something about it? Yuck! Another trash can? I know that whenever you sift through one, a clue magically appears. But do we have to go through this every time, Matthew? I'm afraid so, Amy. As much as I don't like it either. Examine the torn book now. I'm just going to get these out of the way. Well, well, well. Diary, meeting 9:30 a.m. Well done, Matthew. The torn book you pieced back together is obviously the victim's diary. And it says here Merv had a meeting with Sheikh Abdullah bin Faisal. Am I pronouncing that right? Oh, you know this man, Matthew? You've met Sheikh Faisal in a previous investigation? Well, from the looks of it, the victim met him too. We better go question this Sheikh. You're right. Well, 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 Sheikh, we meet again. Last time we saw him, Frank had a bet on my life. About the meeting you had with the victim? How much you want to bet that one of the clues is the GunCon badge on this? You can see right there, you can see wherever my cursor is. Salam, Commissioner Matthew. Are you here to play poker with me again? All bets are off, Mr. Faisal. Merv Whalen was found dead shortly after you met with him. Ah, the sun has set too soon on poor Merv. We met during a blackjack tournament. I learned he was a weapons dealer and he expressed an interest in breaking into the Middle Eastern market. I like the fellow, very American. He reminded me of the country songs I love so much. So I agreed to meet with him and answer some questions about my country's way of doing business. But Merv didn't really care about learning more about my country. All he cared about was our money. Moment, guys, I need to take care of something real quick. Okay, I got an extra star, plus I had to use the bathroom. Examine the note. An eviction notice. Way to go, Matthew. The contents you revealed on this notice show that Mary Lou, the victim's sister, was evicted from the motel where we found him. You're right, Matthew. It doesn't make sense. Mary Lou said she didn't have any money problems thanks to her brother giving her money. But this notice proves Mary Lou did have problems, and the fact that Merv ended up dead at the exact same motel she got kicked out of, well, that's a nice murder motive right there. Let's go see her. Why she was evicted from her motel. Mary Lou, Commissioner Matthew found this eviction notice that says you were kicked out of the motel because you couldn't pay. I thought your brother gave you money. Okay, you got me. Melvin stopped giving me money weeks ago. I got evicted from the motel and now I live in this rat trap. Even country songs sound happier than what I'm going through. When he stopped paying for me, I turned to blackjack to make some cash. But instead of making money, I got in deep with the loan shark. But I guess now that your brother is dead, you get to inherit all his money, am I right? Exactly. I guess luck is on my side after all. No more debts, no more worries. Mary Lou, if you kill Merv for his money, you've got a whole load of bigger problems coming your way. And finally the trash can. Kind of looks like a cigarette butt, which means the butt on this... Oh no, that's a finger. Holy jeez, it's been severed. This has just escalated from gross to full-out nauseating. Did you just find a severed finger in a trash can? I know we find dead bodies every day, but finding a severed body part like this is almost more troubling. You're right, I'll send it over to Roxy right away. That's not gruesome, I don't know what is. I'll let the bloody finger run its course. For now, I'll get the remaining stars, and I'll see you guys then. Okay, folks, it is Matthew here. We are back, and I'm gonna speed up the process of the bloody finger. What a treat, Matthew. This is like performing 2 autopsies in just one case. The finger you brought me used to belong to Merv Whalen. Please, Roxy, how can you be so excited by this? Because this is a beautiful mystery. When I first autopsied the body, I just thought the finger was cut off during the torture session. But studying the actual finger packed quite a surprise. See it decompose at a natural rate since it wasn't attached to any living tissue. What are you saying, Roxy? Merv's finger was actually cut off 2 days before his murder. Way before he was even tortured. So I don't get why he didn't report this to the police. Maybe Merv didn't report this to the police because it would raise a lot more questions about his shady deals. Whatever the reason, the person who cut off Whalen's finger used a diamond knife. I found pure African diamond powder at the base of the cut. African diamonds? That rings a bell, Matthew. Let's go see how Papa Kwanzaa can help us solve the mystery of Merv's missing finger. About the victim's severed finger. Mr. Kwanzaa, Commissioner Matthews discovered Merv Whalen's missing finger, which had been cut off with a diamond knife. You found Merv's finger? That's disgusting. You're not answering the question. Did you cut it off? I'm here to play blackjack and do business, Commissioner Matthew. I didn't cut off Merv's finger. Merv honored our business agreement by cutting off his finger himself. Do you really expect us to believe that Merv cut off his own finger? Besides, we thought you were here to get guns, not body parts. I was, but Merv tried to cheat me and gave me water pistols instead. He was hoping I wouldn't find out until I got back to Africa. But I'm no fool. I checked the shipment, and when I finally caught him and asked for my diamonds back, he refused. So I asked that he repay me by cutting off a finger using my throwing knife. That man wanted to keep them diamonds so badly that he cut off his own finger. The things you Americans will do for money. Very funny. Just like in your country songs. I'm not sure I believe a word you're saying, but either way, we're placing you in custody for now, Mr. Kwanzaa. Well, he's in the running now. Matthew, this investigation is so twisted. I wonder if we'll ever get to the bottom of it. Let's see, Papa Kwanzaa was angry with the victim because Merv sold him water pistols instead of real guns. Can you believe he denies he chopped off Merv's finger? He pretends Merv did it himself. Mary Lou also had a beef with Merv. She was evicted from her motel room because Merv stopped giving her money. But could she have killed her own brother? Matthew, I discovered one of your suspects lied about their identity. You have a con artist on your hands. Whoa. Well, we better find out this in Chapter 3. We'll do that in just a bit. See you soon. Okay, folks, it is Matthew here, and we are back. Let's start Chapter 3 of Pacific Bay Case 54, Blood Diamond. Matthew, I've discovered one of your suspects is lying about their true identity. You have a con artist on your hands. That could be any of them, Hannah. What did you discover exactly? It's the Sheik, Matthew. Sheik Faisal is not from the Middle East. He's just an actor who was born in Pacific Bay. Oh, hold on, guys. I discovered it by accident. I was watching a compilation of failed Ivywood auditions when I suddenly spotted your Sheik as a young man auditioning for an advert. So Faisal is just some failed actor? But then why is he going around pretending to be royalty from the Middle East? And if he lied about that, what else is he lying about? I agree, Matthew. We need to question Faisal. No more acting. This time it's for real. And you're right. We should also go back to the Menagio's basement. That's where our victim was tortured. It may yield more answers. Expose Sheik Faisal first. Bust his chops. Time to drop the eye, Mr. Faisal. We know you're not a real Sheik. You're just a failed actor from Ivywood. What is this nonsense about? The King of Sultanistan will be furious to hear you're doubting the identity of his delegate, Commissioner Matthew. The real King of Sultanistan would have you beheaded for this fraud, mister. Be grateful you only have Commissioner Matthew to answer to. Or do you want us to let the King know about this? No, please don't. I admit it, I'm not a real Sheik, but I'm as good as the real thing. I spent years working on my Arabic accent and even learned Middle Eastern knife throwing. I do it because it's good for business. People respect a foreign millionaire. They aren't afraid of advancing some money to someone who's already rich. And you thought you could get some money out of Merv too, didn't you? Yes, but I didn't realize Merv was a con man too. I guess that's how he knew I was a fake. Merv found you out? Is that why you killed him, so he couldn't expose you? It would have been awful for business, but I didn't kill him. I may be a fraud, but I'm not a murderer. I've got to say your acting isn't so convincing anymore. If you did kill Merv, you can be sure Commissioner Matthew will arrest you before the final curtain. He's in the running. See what we'll find here. Lots of phone. Metal crate. See the hand fan right there. Clock. Air conditioner. And welcome. All in 5 seconds. Already up to 16th. Way to go, Matthew. You found the victim's phone. Do you mind unlocking it? I'm such a duffer at this. But are these the items that were used to torture Merv? How gruesome. Do we really have to search through them? God knows what we'll find. Got a couple stars, I'll be back. Okay, got a few stars. Let's examine the lot's phone. GBA, yep. 3, and 8. Got it. Got 9 energy. Deft hand, Matthew. Now that you've unlocked the victim's phone, Hannah will be able to process it. I'm confident she'll come up with something that will help us nab the killer. "9 hours. Now let's examine the torture items, see what we'll find in there. I think that was a bulletproof vest. Yep. Another 9 energy for me. Phew! I'm glad you're done searching through this box, Matthew. Just the thought of these tools being used to torture the victim, it makes my blood cold. I wonder how this bulletproof vest ended up in that box, though. You're right, there's a faded message pinned to the bulletproof vest. If this is linked to the killer, we need to retrieve it. Gonna need this Eugenia. Matthew, the message on the bulletproof vest was written by our victim. The message reads, "You're gonna need this, Eugenia." Why would Merv threaten Eugenia Hestentrope? Whatever his reasons, Merv's the one who ended up dead. Come on, Matthew, let's go question Eugenia about this. Why the victim gave her a bulletproof vest? Eugenia, Commissioner Matthew found this bulletproof vest that Merv sent you with the threat that you would need it. What was this all about? Merv's the first person who told me that people were plotting a heist targeting my casino. He offered me his protection, but obviously knowing his criminal record, I refused. He was furious. He thought he had an ace up his sleeve, but if he'd ever bothered to play blackjack, he would have known the house always wins. Except Merv really did have important intel about the heist. Did you torture him in your basement to get the information out of him? You think I'd be stupid enough to torture someone in my own casino? Please. But you didn't think Commissioner Matthew would find out about that. You thought we'd assume the murder had taken place at the motel, where you displayed his body as a warning to other criminals. That's a beautiful image and a good idea, but sadly I can't take credit for it because I didn't do it. Now if you'll excuse me, I have a casino to run. She's still clear. She doesn't do the other two. She doesn't fall in the other two categories of the killer's identity. I'll let the victim's phone run its course, and I'll see you for that. For now, I'm going to get the remaining 2 stars. See you for them. Okay, everybody, it's Matthew, and we are back. I'm going to speed up the victim's phone process. Okay, I'm done processing the data from the victim's phone, Matthew. I found a bunch of messages between the victim and Louis Dorico. They talked about a secretive undertaking. They argued about the infrastructure and security details. Louis Dorico? Matthew, what if this undertaking is the upcoming heist? Let's go grill Louis about this. He'll probably lie to our faces again, but we still need to try.
She said she'd been coming to the park for years, hoping to find us. She picked up
about his dealings with the victim?
Said that's when
she came from Kentucky in a busted pickup truck. Nice tune, Louis. It'll keep you busy in prison. We know you and Merv were scheming, judging from the texts you sent to each other. Is it the big heist we're talking about? Come on, you're still stuck on this heist conspiracy thing? I'll tell you the truth. The undertaking is just a blackjack tournament I organize every year. That's all. Oh, really? Why were you discussing security then? Look, lady, I don't mean to be rude, but it's man stuff, all right? Like a stag party, card games, lap dances, brandy, throwing knives. We don't want the girls to find out, that's all. Anyway, it all fell through because of Merv. The guy couldn't keep his mouth shut, and I have no use for a man who can't keep a secret. So you tortured and killed him because he betrayed a secret gentleman's party? I'm too busy for small-time revenge, Commissioner Matthew. I have bigger fish to fry. Merv had it coming, but I had nothing to do with his death. Now he's in the running. Matthew, I agree. Not even Frank would buy Louis's story about a secret party. I'm sure the undertaking was more than that, but how can we prove it? You're right. The only thing we can do is keep investigating. The clock is ticking. Matthew, we're almost there. One last effort and we'll have Merv Whalen's killer cornered. You know I'll follow you anywhere, Matthew, and if you say we should go back to the crime scene where we found Merv, then let's hit the road.
There's really nothing that you can do right now.
You know the song I Just Want to Be Okay by Ingrid Michaelson? That was me. I couldn't feel comfortable anywhere. That's why I was always running away.
Got some extra energy, too.
I always came back. Except that last time I couldn't. Because they took me and kept me
Looks like I got another.
Who's
this one?
A man and his wife. They made me call them Mommy and Daddy.
Where'd they find you?
I was at a Penn Station begging for a train ticket home back to Massapequa.
Okay.
They gave me a ride in their van. I thought it was okay because they were...
Lots briefcase, pile of magazines. Oh! That's a clue.
He was...
Beetle, doll, fishbowl. Do not disturb.
They must have drugged me because when I woke up I was in a room. I think it was the basement because I could hear a boiler.
Okay. Did they ever let you out?
Once or twice, but we didn't go far.
Did you recognize anything? Landmarks?
So what did you find, Matthew? Don't be coy. I know you always spot clues that other people would have overlooked. A pile of magazines? Well, like I said, I'd have overlooked that. Let's have a look through it and see what's hiding underneath. I agree, this briefcase doesn't look like vacation luggage. Quick, we need to unlock it.
But he gave me lemonade and vodka. It made it easier when he got on top of me.
It looked like a Target.
Until I had my baby. Then
practice target. You hit the jackpot once again, Matthew. The practice target you found among the magazines might have belonged to the killer. After all, they must have practiced a lot to get so good at knife throwing. Let's send the target to the lab and see what Yan can come up with. We're close, I can feel it.
Captain, what's going on?
When's the last time you talked to your brother?
An hour ago.
9 hours.
But I didn't pick up.
Do you know where he is?
I have no idea. What's going on?
His fiance just kidnapped the children from foster care. There's a neighborhood we're not from.
DD7, yep.
What's your phone?
CSQ. Just in time, got 9. Wow, look at that. This briefcase you just opened is full of throwing knives. This must belong to the killer. You're right, Matthew. This briefcase is covered in some kind of dust. Quick, we need to collect a sample. It could tell us something about the killer.
Insurance lawyer said an ordinary man.
There's a cost to these things.
Behind enemy lines. We do this for our country. When Director Steve.
There we are. Excellent, Matthew. Now you collected a sample of the yellow powder in the killer's briefcase. We can send it to the lab. This might be the missing piece of the puzzle. "15 hours. Okay. I'll be able to let these two run their courses, and I'll see you for them. Morning, folks. It is Matthew. We are back, and we're now going to get the results of the practice target and the yellow powder, starting with the practice target. Matthew, this practice target was definitely used by your killer. The straight tears matched the knives that were found on your victim. The tears also helped me determine the velocity of the knives the killer threw at Merv Whalen, and the curve of... Yeah, that's impressive, but we already know that whoever killed Merv was a natural at throwing knives. Can you tell us anything we don't know? Well, there was no residue on the target, but the logo on the top left corner proved useful. Turns out this target was part of a gift package handed out to VIP guests at the gun convention. These guests were also given special badges. So that means our killer must be wearing a gun convention badge. They'll be an easy target now, Matthew. I was right. That was one of the clues. Yellow powder now. I'm done looking at that powder you collected from the killer's knife collection, Matthew. In the powder I found traces of club soda, dish soap, and a natural compound which has an atomic number of 79. Atomic what? Is that some kind of nuclear bomb? No, Amy. Atomic numbers indicate the number of protons found in the nucleus of an atom. In this instance, I was talking about gold. As for the traces of club soda and dish soap, they're often used to clean gold jewelry, which the killer must therefore wear. Gold jewelry quickly discolors if worn close to the skin, and therefore needs regular cleaning, so I'm guessing the jewelry in question is a gold chain. So our killer was a gold chain? Well, we'll soon replace it with a ball and chain. We've almost got them, Matthew. This is it, Matthew. You've compiled enough evidence to arrest Merv Whalen's killer. Let's go call their bluff. Yes, let's. Time to put this jack off behind bars. It's not Louis Dorico. Would have loved to bust this dumbass. It's not Mary Lou Whalen. It's not Papa Kwanzaa. It's not Eugenia Hestentrope. It's Sheikh Faisal. Time to lay the cards on the table, Faisal. We know you killed Merv Whalen. How dare you accuse me of murder, you peasants? I have diplomatic immunity. You can't arrest me. We know you're not a sheik, but an actor, remember? Oh, yes, that's true. Sorry. I've spent so long perfecting my act that it's become second nature. Well, some of the clues you left to the crime scenes gave us glimpses into your real self, like your death threat on the door hanger disguised as a blackjack challenge. Playing blackjack isn't against the law, Commissioner Matthew. What's next? Sending me to prison because I like country music? Funny you should mention that. You listened to one of your favorite records while you tortured Merv in the Menagio's basement. We've got proof. What kind of demented person would do such a thing? Not me. I wouldn't hurt a fly, let alone torture someone. Mr. Faisal, there's no use denying it. We've got your practice target, and Commissioner Matthew even found your knife set. What did you want from Merv that was worth torturing and killing him for? Was it only because he threatened to expose your sheik con? Ha, of course not. It was because of the diamonds. Oh, dras, I said too much, didn't I? Alright, Commissioner Matthews got me already, so I might as well tell you everything. As soon as Papa Kwanzaa landed in Paradise City, I knew my lucky day had come. He was a perfect target for my Middle Eastern gun magnet scam. But that weasel Whalen got there first. That guy had no integrity, poaching his fellow conman's client. So Merv Whalen got his hands on Papa Kwanzaa's diamonds before you did, and then you tried to get the diamonds from Merv by torturing him? Yes, but Merv was stronger than I anticipated. He chose death rather than confessing where the diamonds were. Well, the good news is that you don't need any diamonds in prison, Mr. Faisal. You're under arrest for Merv Whalen's murder. Mr. Faisal, you stand trial for the torture and murder of Merv Whalen. But according to the coroner's report, you are innocent of cutting off his finger. Was that an accidental oversight? I just wanted to know where he hid the diamonds, Your Honor. I didn't count his fingers. Look, all I wanted in life was to be an actor. When it didn't work out, I became a con man instead. I was good at being a fake sheik. I had a real flair for it. I put in the work, the research. Not like that slimeball Whalen who had no talent. When I found out he managed to cheat Papa Kwanzaa out of his diamonds, I swore I'd make him pay. Well, Mr. Faisal, maybe the role of a convicted killer will suit you better. This court hereby sentences you to 30 years in jail. All rise. Matthew, well done for putting another criminal behind bars. It seems like everybody in Paradise City is pretending to be someone else. Fake sheiks, con men, scamming and plotting everywhere. But you're right, we still have unfinished business to attend to. The heist of the century might already be underway. Let's head back to the station. There's no time to lose. See the other ones. Louis Dorico almost made it. He doesn't wear a gun con badge. Mary Lou Whalen was clear from the beginning. She doesn't throw knives. Papa Kwanzaa, he nearly made it, but he doesn't wear a gold chain. Eugenia Hestentrope, she was clear from the beginning. Doesn't throw knives, doesn't listen to country music. It was the sheik. I'll see you for the additional investigation. We'll do the big heist, part 4. Alright folks, it is Matthew. We are back, and we're now going to do the big heist, part 4. Matthew, this document you found contains details of the big heist. It's clearly a highly organized operation, but the masterminds are still missing information, like the access code of a vault. It's also clear they're planning to recruit a team of 5 people and will need a lot of equipment, including gas masks. So now we have definite proof that the heist is underway, but we still don't have names. Matthew, good job on arresting the killer, but we still got that upcoming heist to worry about. We need to find out where it's going to happen, and fast. Merv was meant to be our informant before he got murdered, but you and I can still go to the gun convention and see if we can find any clues to help us. You're right. I also want you to sweep the casino basement with Amy. Try and put this cut-off finger story to rest. We cannot keep Papa Kwanzaa in custody for cutting off Merv's fingers unless we've got proof. I got an unlimited energy happy hour last night, and I ended up using some partners for some extra XP. Two aces of hearts, nice. Would be nice if I got some queens. Good job, Matthew. This knife looks exactly like the knife Roxy said was used to cut off Murph's finger. Let's dust the knife for fingerprints and hope we find the proof we need to solve this gruesome mystery. Hell, I think it is the one. Perfect. You revealed a perfect set of fingerprints, Matthew. Let's send this to Hannah. She'll be able to tell us to cut off Murph's finger in no time. Six hours. Okay. There we are. Nice catch, Matthew. I had to notice this briefcase. It looks promising, but you will need to unlock it for us to see what's inside. And I will unlock it. R36, yep. M8E. It's a note. Well done opening that briefcase, Matthew. Though I was hoping it would contain more than a single sheet of paper. Wait, you're right. This list. Jackhammer, police radio, explosives, gas masks. This sounds like the preparations for a criminal operation. I agree, the mention of a police radio is especially worrying. Whoever made this list intends to spy on us, to stay ahead of our every move. But for now, we're still one step ahead of them. Let's send this list to Hannah and see what she can find. Nine hours. That'll do it for now. I'll let these two run their courses. So for now, this is Matthew. See you when they do. Okay folks, it is Matthew here. We are back, and we're now going to get the results of the fingerprints on the knife from Hannah. Matthew, the fingerprints you revealed on that knife told me the weirdest story. See, they belong to Merv Whalen himself. So he really cut off his own finger so he wouldn't have to give the diamonds back to Papa Kwanzaa? Yes, the way the fingerprints are placed on the handle makes it clear. Merv inflicted this wound on himself. I guess diamonds are more valuable to Merv than a finger. Matthew is right. This means Papa Kwanzaa is innocent. At least innocent of this crime. We should go release him from custody. Let's get Kwanzaa out. Ha! So you see now, Commissioner Matthew, I never touched Merv, nor cut off his finger. He's the one who duped me and then had to turn it into some huge drama. Mr. Kwanzaa, we're letting you go today, but if Commissioner Matthew ever finds any proof you smuggled diamonds or anything else through our borders, we'll be back for you. Don't worry, I'll be as discreet as ever. You won't hear from me again. It's not about being discreet, it's about respecting the law. Yes, I know your laws. Like I said, you won't hear from me. For now, Commissioner Matthew, the Maya clan always reward those who help them. This is for you. Soldier equipment. One moment. Sorry guys, had a phone call to take. Soldier equipment I just got. I guess I'll speed up the list of items. Alright Matthew, I had a look at the list you sent me, and while I couldn't find out much more about the list itself, I did find something else. Someone purchased 5 gas masks and a jackhammer very recently in Paradise City, and both items are on your list. 5 gas masks? Matthew, didn't you discover earlier that the heist team would be composed of 5 people? This has to be for them. Not to mention, you're going to love this, that the buyer of said gas masks was none other than Louis DeRico. Louis? This time we have him. Matthew? This time we have him, Matthew. He's definitely involved in all this. Let's confront him. I'm sure we can make him talk. Talk to Louis about the upcoming heist. Louis, we found your little heist planning list. This time you can't escape. It's time to confess. Come on, Chief Marquez. You can't seriously believe that a simple list proves anything. But it makes you highly suspicious, and we found proof you already purchased half of the items on that list yourself. So what if I want to purchase some gas masks or a jackhammer, Commissioner Matthew? Maybe I'm working on a friend's house. I don't see how giving my patronage to local shops is the police's business. I think you're just desperate to find something against me, Chief Marquez. I'm disappointed, Commissioner Matthew. I expected better from you. You probably need a little break. Go have a good burger. It's on me. Louis can play the smooth act all he wants, Matthew. We both know he's behind this heist, and we're close to finally proving it thanks to you. But there's not much you can do right now. I fear we may need to let them move further along with their plan, so we get another chance of catching them red-handed. Let's pause the investigation for a while. The motel has asked us to clean up the crime scene and move our gear out. Take Amy with you and go back to the motel. Make sure there's nothing left there that could be of interest to us. There it is, motel basket. Sunglasses, handcuffs. Joy. Map. Flowers, tacos. Satellite dish. Traffic light, and a surfboard. Alright, Matthew, I don't think there's anything left here. Wait, why did you pick up this basket? Why did you pick this basket up? You think there might be something hidden among those motel goodies? Really? Well, you should go through the contents then. Things stopped recording for some reason, I don't know why. Easy as pie. Torn paper. What's this torn paper you found inside the motel basket, Matthew? And how did it end up in there? You're right. The best way to find out what this torn paper says is to piece it back together. I'll let you do the honors. Just in time. Great job, Matthew. So the torn paper you found at the motel is actually the blueprint of a building. And someone scribbled all over it. I don't get what any of this means, but it sounds important. I agree. Let's send this blueprint to Hannah. Hours, I'll let it run its course. See you for that. Hey everybody, it's Matthew. I'm back. I'm going to speed this up for 3. Matthew, the blueprint you found at the motel is actually the blueprint of the Menagio. Eugenia's casino? Matthew's right. This must belong to the heist team. She's always been sure they would target the Menagio. And she couldn't have been more right. See the red circle on the map? It's the casino's vault where all the money is kept. They've taken note of all the security equipment and even drew the safest path to follow for the heist. Matthew, we have to warn Eugenia. She was right. Her casino is the target. Warn her about the target. Didn't I tell you before, Commissioner Matthew? I knew my casino was threatened by these thieves. I just knew it. You're right, Mrs. Heston-Trope, and they seem very well prepared. This blueprint shows they know exactly how your security system works and how to get around it. Don't worry, now that I know about their plans, I can make sure they don't get too far in, but just far enough for you to arrest them. Make sure you catch them, Commissioner Matthew, and here is a little help for the police department to make sure you have all the necessary means. 20,000. Oh, thank you very much. Matthew, thanks to your work, we finally have proof the heist team is going to target the Menagio Casino. You'll team up with Frank and intercept the heist team before they break into the vault. Catch them red-handed. We're on it. Come on, Matthew, let's get into tactical gear. We've got master criminals to arrest.
You're getting 3 here. Alright, here goes.
Oh. Cheddar, sour cream and onion, and salt and vinegar.
Wow. How did you do that?
I can see through blindfold.
Okay.
To celebrate Carrabba's being voted #1 for Italian once again, we're offering 15% off your meal. That includes all our best.
And here comes more.
Appetizers, desserts, our entire menu for a short time. Go to Carrabba's.com for your 15% off coupon.
I could probably have enough to do Elite Mode one time, but I don't really want to. 17,022 energy. And I'm going to get some crime reports. See you for them. See you for case number 55. So for now, this is Matthew. See you next time.